Do you know of anyone, whether family or friends, who have been affected by drunk driving?
Yes. It was actually someone that went to my church.
Yes, in high school, I actually had a family friend who ended up getting in an accident from someone else who was drunk driving, and he ended up passing away, so I think it's something that really affects a lot of people.
Yes, I had a couple people in high school.
Yes, I do. A few people actually.
Hey guys, the topic for this week is going to be drunk driving.
So there have been a few incidents of drunk driving around campus lately, and I think it's something that we probably should talk about. It's not exactly the most fun topic or anything, but it's definitely something, it's important and it's really dangerous.
First off, we can obviously go on and say about how bad it is, all of the different repercussions that come from it, but mostly we just want to talk about what to do when you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I've been in that situation so many times where one of my friends will be like, oh, I'll DD tonight, no big deal. And then we get to the party and they're like, oh, I'll have one beer, and that turns into one shot, and that turns into them being too toasty to drive. And it's like, great, now what do I do? Because I was depending on you and now I obviously have no rights. So what to do in that situation?
First thing, we all, or most of us, have friends. Call a friend. I know if one of my friends was in that kind of situation, I don't care what time it was, I don't care how early I had to wake up in the morning the next day, I would much prefer. I would prefer to lose some sleep and go pick up my friend and keep them out of a dangerous situation than them get in some accident or something happens where it affects their life for a very long time and affects someone else's life on top of that. It's so not worth it.
Besides that, other options, more expensive option, you could call it cab. Otherwise, just knock out there. I don't see what the big deal is, just sleeping there at the party a few hours and waiting to sober up and then go. It's 3 hours, 4 hours, however much you drink. It depends, but it's a viable option. And so my main point is that I wanted to make was, it doesn't matter how great of a driver you are when you're drunk. I have friends that they're like, oh, I would never get pulled over because I'm just naturally good at driving drunk. And I have people say like, oh yeah, he's my drunk DD. Like that's what people say, my drunk driver instead of designated driver. It doesn't matter how good of a driver you are when someone else hits you. If you're driving perfectly and someone rear ends you and you pull over, you're gonna get caught for drunk driving and get a DUI. Doesn't matter how perfectly you were driving. Other people suck at driving. So be aware of that. A lot of people don't think about that.
If you're a DD, just be a good DD, you may think that you can drive, but you have so many other people in your car with you. Everyone will get in trouble, and it's just not worth it, no matter how good of a driver you think you are. Something I thought was interesting, I went to someone's house around the USC campus, and I saw a shuttle that was just driving around. It was probably midnight or something, and I would never see that at Pepperdine. And I asked what that was, and it's I forget what they called it, but it was a shuttle that would pick people up if there was some sort of emergency or someone was too drunk to drive or something. And I definitely don't think that's something that everyone should rely on, but I think that's I thought that was kind of a good thing. And I know Pepperdine has a dry campus. There's zero tolerance for alcohol here, but I understand why they do that, but I kind of feel like there probably should be something like that too, because that probably could have saved those couple of accidents that have happened recently. And regardless of being Christian or just being pure or whatever, things like that will happen, and we need to have a way to prevent it.
Thank you to everyone we interviewed. Those are our thoughts on drunk driving. Just in general, be responsible and think about what you're doing.